What's going on, fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. For today's video, gonna do a little recap of September. Of course, today was the ending of September. Today's the 1st of October. I'm gonna go through and cover you guys what has happened the past month. Obviously, when it comes to retail and the majority did expect a bearish month for September, but we clearly haven't gotten that. If you go to the monthly for Bitcoin, we clearly closed in the green, and I do expect this to continue for the remainder of October. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those channels, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. First up is liquidations, $430 million today, with volume basically the same the past 24 hours. And look, when it comes to liquidations, I did tell you guys, do expect massive inflection points once we hit above $1 billion. We had two back-to-back days over $1 billion. And I told you guys, look, at these events, we do expect at the very least a marginal lower low and then a relief bounce, if not a full-on reversal. So for now, we've hit that relief bounce. Let's see if it's a full-on reversal, and then we have continuation. But I did tell you guys the odds are in our favor for a green Q4 and a green October. So I do expect this to be a full-on reversal. So as you guys can see, for the monthly candle of Bitcoin in September, we closed 5% in the green. And of course, our base native tokens we usually cover on this channel. Toshi closed green. One Mobile closed green also. So let me just go to the monthly channel for that. As you guys can see, a clear green candle. And Alien Base did close red, but I did tell you guys, look, do expect more volatility to come for Alien Base and more time to accumulate, because Alien Base is a microcap. But nonetheless, looking good. Majority of our tokens are in the green, and I do expect continuation to go ahead for the remainder of this month. Next up is liquidation heat map. Interestingly, we're actually having a lot of liquidations getting built above us, and the long-short ratio is once again shifting over to the short side majority, which is good to see, because that generally means we can expect short squeezes to come for the remainder of this week. Next up is Ethereum to Bitcoin. And look, Ethereum to Bitcoin hasn't had any changes. We're still grinding below that massive inverse parabolic move. And I won't expect any significant moves until we actually break above. So as you guys can see, that major trend line, that 0.04 region, has to be broken. And once that is broken, I do expect fireworks to come for Ethereum. Next up is Ethereum, and when it comes to lower time frames, look, we're just grinding higher. We made our low back in the 25th of September, and we've been grinding up since. Of course, Bitcoin is looking much better. As you guys can see, Bitcoin had a really nice green candle over the last few days or so. We bottomed out at the 108K region, and we're up since. We're up about 5% since then, and I do expect once this level is broken, the 115 to 116K level, I do expect continuation to happen. Nothing has changed. September is green. I do expect Q4 to also be green, which will of course mean October will be a nice month for our crypto assets. Next up is Total 3. Nothing has actually changed. We're still grinding, and our main level 2 break is that $1.08 trillion level. As you guys can see, it's having a hard time trying to break above, and really we just have to wait for this level to be broken and a successful retest and a continuation to occur. Until this happens, I don't expect any major moves to happen for the Total 3 chart. Next up is stock market. Look, stock market is looking absolutely amazing. We're still grinding sideways, and I do expect another all-time high move is to come in the next few weeks or so, which of course mean crypto assets will have a nice little rotation. Next up is gold. We haven't covered this quite often recently, but look, gold is having a monster run. We're back in all-time highs. I have told you guys multiple times, once gold actually cools down and it slows down in its massive upside, I do expect rotation to occur. We did see rotation last time. Gold topped out in April. We did see rotation happen into Bitcoin, which pumped the charts for Bitcoin, as well as our other base native assets. So I do expect once gold tops out, probably around that 4K level, I do expect distribution to happen for gold and a nice little rotation for Bitcoin and other crypto assets. Next up is the Toshi chart. Toshi chart is looking absolutely amazing. As you guys can see, multiple green candles for the monthly chart. If we go to the 4 hour, it's still technically holding higher lows and higher highs. This line here, just to explain to you guys, I do expect at the latter half of this bull cycle stage, I do think Toshi will start heading to a parabolic move. We just have to wait and see for that parabolic move to confirm. But generally, 3 or 4 angles, we want to see that second angle to be made. And we just really need to wait for that second angle to be made. Let's assume in the next few days we actually bounce from here. We can actually start and confirm this trend line to be put in place for the second wave of the parabolic move. But of course, not confirmed yet. But basically, the recap is I do expect Toshi to start moving parabolic in the next few months or so. And if we do confirm that second stage in that parabolic move, we can then start drawing other parabolic stages. So, of course, the third stage and then the fourth stage. So let's see how that goes. Really interested to see how Toshi moves in the next few weeks, because I really do expect base native tokens will have a massive rotation of liquidity from Bitcoin, especially as we do think October will be green. So there's something to note, and I will keep you guys up to date with his new chart findings, because of course when it comes to parabolic breakouts and parabolic breaks to the downside, they usually happen quite quickly, but there is luckily ways to confirm this. So of course, if we do assume Toshi breaks out and confirms this as a major parabolic trend line, we can expect once this actually gets broken to the downside, we can expect that move to be complete, and more than likely that will be our exit signal. Before continuing on to the latter part of the video, I'm going to play a segment that sponsors the channel. If you guys are looking for the fastest trading bot to add to your suite, I do recommend the BaseBot. BaseBot is the fastest trading bot on any chain that have support for Ethereum, Base, Binance Smart Chain, etc. And personally, I use it for my trading suite for degen trading. It has the fastest transaction speeds. It has multi-wallet support. It has support for Base, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, etc. And my most favorite thing about the bot is it has full anti-MEV protection, so you don't have to worry about getting sandwich attacked on any EVM chains. But when it comes to Base Trading Bot, it is the fastest Telegram trading bot, and personally I use it. Be sure to click on the link in the description below, and thank you for supporting the channel, and I will continue now to our next segment of this video. Next up is Alien Base. When it comes to Alien Base, look, it just needs more time. It needs more time to accumulate. It's still in that purple risk to reward box, and nothing has changed. Fundamentals and the thesis for Alien Base hasn't changed. It's still the #1 trading DEX experience on Base Chain, and a lot of other on-chain base native tokens have also been wrecked. So it's definitely not an outlier. We just happen to choose our other two native tokens, which is Toshi and World Token, which have been so strong, obviously way more stronger than other base native token assets. Of course, since Alien Base is a market cap, I do expect more volatility to occur for Alien Base. And when it comes to World Token, look, it's looking so strong right now. We're still waiting for that breakout. As you guys can see, we've broken out that accumulation range and we're still holding above. We could still be open to the possibilities of having another retouch of that accumulation range at the $150 million area. If we do touch that, look, that's a major risk to reward spot. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion. But when it comes to these kind of retests, I do expect that to be a really good risk to reward potential buy opportunity. And the odds are that it will probably have a continuation to the upside from that point, because seller exhaustion will most likely be confirmed. Next up is the FedWatch tool. When it comes to the FedWatch tool, we're actually having some really nice rate cut probabilities getting confirmed. And as you guys can see, 97% is so much higher than what we were seeing last week. I believe last week was about an 85% area. And look, 97% is guaranteed a rate cut, 25 bips. And I do expect this rate cut to happen this October. That is my opinion. And also the facts. Look, when it comes to these probabilities, when the probabilities are above 80%, I've actually never seen it reject from that point. So I do expect rate cuts for this month. Next up is just a little bonus. So the guys at Macro, if you guys haven't been following my X, I've done some educational content pieces around Macro. Macro is basically a protocol where you can borrow and lend. And what I mean by that is you can actually lend your meme tokens, lend your tokens like Toshi, World Token, etc., and actually borrow USDC. So example, you can lend out 50 grand of Toshi and borrow about 30 grand or so, whatever that 77% LTV is. Basically, this is a new way of actually borrowing and lending coins on base chain, having another way of instant liquidity so you can make your own external trading plays. Personally, I've actually been supplying USDC on the Macro platform. The APY as it stands is actually 40% plus their Macro token, so it's 53%, which is quite massive. All you have to do is supply your USDC on the platform, and it's a really good way of actually getting yield from your USDC. Of course, if you're actually looking for more liquidity and own these tokens already, you can actually lend your tokens, you can lend Toshi and borrow USDC, you can lend World Token and borrow USDC, etc. So really good and useful tool. They currently have $2.7 million in TVL, and I do expect this to increase, because as it stands right now, currently their bottleneck right now is the USDC points, because there's actually way more people lending their meme coins than actually supplying USDC. So that's why the APY for USDC is so high. 50% is not usual. It's actually usually around the 20% level. but it's so high as it stands right now because a lot more people are actually borrowing USDC. But that's all to the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.